Hello, YouTube. All right. The other day I told you my MPPT charge controller arrived, so I'm going to open it up right now and take a look at it. The plan is to go ahead and put it in place of this this cheap PWM charge controller that I had previously. So right now I have a 255 watt solar panel hooked up. I actually did try to wire two of them. I tried to wire it in parallel. But then this PWM charge controller was having issues. It kept shutting down. I think it was getting too much power. So it kept not charging. So I went ahead and switched it down. That's why all these weird lines are cut and stuff. But I just have one panel hooked up right now at 255 watts. I need to connect all four panels, and that'll give me roughly 1,000 watts. So what we're going to do today is basically open this guy up, try to replace this right now with one panel and get it working. And once I get that going, I'm going to be wiring the four panels in series. What that will give me is roughly 1,000 watts at, let's see, 24, 48, 96 volts in theory. So we'll see what happens. This charge controller I ended up buying on I bought it on Amazon because I couldn't find a local supplier, and it was, you know, cheaper to get it. But I wanted to get one that was like at least 50 watts, but I don't think I got it. I think this one's only like 40 watts, which I think is just going to be enough. Hey, just me, how's it going? All right, we're gonna try to open this guy up. Take a look at what's inside. Way of 8. I can't even read your name. I'll just say Way. Okay, we're going to try to open this guy up and see what's going on here with this. Keep in mind, those of you that are watching this, I'm not doing this to show you how to do it. You know, how to wire your panels and everything. I'm just doing this myself. There's a lot of good channels with tutorials on it, and they explain everything. I don't really know too much about it. I'm just kind of picking up what I've learned online. This is what was inside there. And it feels a lot more like a real charge controller. This thing weighs a ton. It actually has some weight to it. I would guess maybe about 30 pounds, 25 pounds. 20, maybe not. Maybe more like 20 pounds, 15 to 20 pounds. This thing weighs a lot. The other one that I had, the PWM charge controller, feels like a toy. It had no weight at all. It was all plastic. But it was only like $15. This guy here, I think I paid like about $115. So, and it even has a manual and everything. It even comes in with styrofoam packing. Woo! We're like rich now. So we got a nice user's manual. It says ML maximum point PowerPoint tracking. So this one is supposedly, I think this one was 40, the one that I bought. They have a whole bunch that look similar, but the one that I bought, I was trying to get the highest amp that I could because that would allow me to do the maximum panels, but without going crazy. Like, you know, the higher the amp rating on it, the more expensive they were. So I found this one, I think it was like 40 amps. They even have like a little chart here. So I'm going to have to review all this stuff. I'm not going to show you guys my installation. I'll show afterwards because this isn't really a tutorial. I'm kind of figuring it out as I go along. But I know I'm just going to hook this one up on that wall to replace the PWM charge controller. But this one feels a lot more real. It's actually got metal. It's got metal fins here to, I guess, dissipate heat, because you're gonna be pulling in a lot of power, so it's gonna get hot. The PWM charge controller was like almost pretty much all plastic. Now, it did work, and it still does work, so I'm not putting down the PWM charge controller. Honestly, if you only had like one panel, you can see I have it in the little blue, the van, and it works fine. So if you were just gonna get like a single panel, like 300 watts or less, you know, a PWM charge controller should be fine. You don't need MPPT. I would think that the only time you would need this is if you're trying to string up a whole bunch of panels together, and you may have like differing battery power systems versus the panels. My panels are rated at, I think, 20, like maximum output is like 27 watts. So it's like not watts, 27 volts. So it's designed to charge up a 24 volt battery system. Me hooking it up to a 12 volt system, I think what it does is just throws away the excess power. So it's like I think that's just me guessing, but I think I'm only using the solar panels at half capacity. So my 255 watt one, I'm really only pulling maybe 125. And some of you are like, well, that sucks. Well, it was enough for me to run my rice cooker and run the TV and the video games and stuff. So that's all I need, you know. I know a lot of people think that I don't do things to be the most efficient, and indeed I don't. I just need it to be good enough to be functional, to do what I need it to do. So this one, though, because I have 4 panels I want to hook up, and the PWM charge controller won't handle it, I'm hoping that the MPPT charge controller will allow that. The plan will be to hook this guy up and be able to run the refrigerator. Because once the refrigerator is fully operational and can run, you know, probably set it to run the refrigerator during the daytime and then shut off at night. That's what I'm looking at. You know, and set it to like freezing cold. So it'll keep going through that cycle of freezing and then thawing, freezing and thawing. That way you use the electricity while you have the sun out. And if it proves to actually pull in so much power that I have excess, I'm thinking of upgrading my, I don't know if you can see my little 2,000 watt inverter right there, that Jupiter box right there, is Harbor Freight's 2,000 watt inverter. I'm going to try to get to a 3,000 watt inverter. And if I can get a 3,000 watt inverter, I'm actually going to try to run the overhead air conditioning system on it. Because if that works, then that means this RV doesn't even need to go to an RV park to plug in. The only thing I need an RV park for is to dump the gray water and the black water. So that'll be really good. It'll mean that the RV becomes totally, you know, other than food-wise and water, self-contained. So stay tuned for that. I will show you later videos. I am planning on climbing up onto the, maybe I'll just show you right now a little bit about this, what it looks like outside and what we're going to be dealing with. So basically this charge controller is just going to go right here in this spot where the PWM, look at this, it says 14.2, 13.6. See, that's varying because that's how much power is coming in from the one panel off the sun. And it's charging up a 12 volt battery bank. So, you know, it tries to pull like 14.2, 14.4 maximum. The panel is actually producing much more than that, but the charge controller is keeping it so that my batteries don't overcharge and explode. Now, when I shut the switch off, this is my little switch to turn off the solar panels. It'll show you the actual charge of the battery. So right now, the batteries, I have a battery bank of 4 batteries, roughly 400 amp hours. It's got like about 13.1 volts. It's a 12 volt system. So this is like slightly overcharged, which is fine because I'm getting ready to, I'm getting ready to cook some rice using the electric. So I've been able to plug in my rice cooker and actually cook rice without having to run the engine or anything. And when I put this charge controller and hook up the other panels, I should be able to run the this guy here, because this is like 18, not this guy, there's an electric burner, 1800 watts. Now I did run my microwave off the you know, the current setup with one panel, and it worked fine. But I know it was pulling power from the battery, so it was able to cook popcorn. So that was great for my kid and I. But with 4 panels running, that would allow me to cook the popcorn, and the system could charge up really fast. The way it works is most of the power isn't coming directly from the solar panels. It's actually coming from, let me show you what's going on up here. Most of the power, when you see that we pull for the system, is actually coming from the battery bank. I have like 4 battery banks. But the panels up here that I've got 4 of them, which I'm getting ready to wire. And you can see the wire is just the 10 gauge wire from Home Depot. I didn't I didn't buy solar panel wiring. You know, they sell these kits online, but they charge so much money. And I know some people say, well, they're safer and blah, 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 wire, you know. I am going to secure these a little bit better once everything's down and wired correctly. I might even get some rubber hosing or something like that. But there's so many issues with this RV. You know, it's still leaking. It's still doing weird stuff. So to spend a lot of money on one item here when everything else is broken, it's kind of foolish. So I'm just going to go ahead and wire it the best that I can. And, you know, just go ahead and splice it in, which is what I've been doing. So what I'm going to do with this panel, see the red is a positive. I'm going to pull this red over to that other panel there. And how I wire it, let me try to show you here. How I wire it for series is I take the positive from one and I hook it to the negative of the other one. Then I'll take the positive from that one and hook it to the negative of that one. Then I'll take the positive of that one and hook the negative of this one. And the positive of this one will go down into the system. So that's how I wire it. So basically the string of panels only has one line running through all of them. And each time you do that, the voltage goes up. It'll increase to whatever the panel is, which is about 24 volts each. So 2 panels would be 48. 3 panels would be what, 62. And then 4 panels would be, I don't know. You have to do the math. It's 24, 24, 24, 24. My brain is fried. But anyhow, basically, I've got about 96 watts running. 96 volts running through. And I think the charge controller, the one that I got, will handle up to like 120 volts. So I think I have a little bit of a leeway. And whether or not we set the RV on fire remains to be seen. So cross your fingers. Stay tuned. I will post updates as soon as I get this wired and going. All right. You guys take it easy. Be safe. Larry says he was at Cabela's and the generators are flying out the door. I don't know if you guys are aware. Things are like weird. Okay. My internet. This area had bad internet to start off with, but like last night, I don't know if you saw me try to do a broadcast and went off, and all today my phone wasn't working. So communications is starting to go out. So I'm surprised I'm even able to broadcast right now. It's kind of weird because it seems like even normal stuff is not functional. Things are like going offline and not working. So I think being able to sustain yourself, make your own electricity, and have your own systems up. Like I'm getting ready to make a water filtration system so that, you know, you could buy water filters commercially available and use those. But the problem is if you don't know how to make one, you're dependent upon going to the store to buy this stuff. And if the store is no longer selling them or closed or not open or whatever, you can't get it. So I'm trying to make my own. Right now I'm short on charcoal, so I'm thinking of burning some wood or something and making charcoal. I'm trying to figure out if it's okay, maybe some of you know, if it's okay to use charcoal from the barbecue briquettes. You know what I'm talking about? You know, they sell barbecue charcoal. Is that the same? So I need to research that, because if that's the same, I'll just buy that and crush it up. Otherwise, it's finding wood and burning it and make my own charcoal, because that's the one thing I'm short on for making my water filtration. What I was planning on doing was actually, I'm still debating how I want to do it. If I want to recycle from here, like when it goes down, it'll go through the filter, then collect into a jug that I can reuse. Or I might just let it all continue to go down into the RV system, into the gray water tank. And then when I empty the gray water tank, that's when I catch the water through the filter. You know what I'm saying? So I get all the dirty water collected, filter it at that point, then I have clean water again that I can pour back into the RV to reuse. So there's 2 ways to do it. Doing it that way, going through the RV's gray water system, is going to be a lot. It's a higher volume and kind of messy, but it would allow the maximum recycling of the water. Because I shower. Let me show you what's going on here. We got kind of a mess. Maybe I'll hide something. Hide my little portable bathroom here. But let me show you what's going on with the bathroom. We'll just do a quick tour, since I'm not going to film me working on the thing. But I want to show you how I shower right now. I did build a little bench because see this thing, even though it's a stand-up shower, um, I don't use a shower right now because I'm confirmed that it's not leaking, so I'm trying not to leak. And I don't have time right now to troubleshoot that with everything that's going on. But I needed to use a shower because I have to go to work and be clean. And since they shut down Planet Fitness and all these other facilities, and even the beach is hard to go to, I decided, to go ahead and make the bathroom here usable. So things have been kind of cleaned up a little bit, straightened out. So it's a little bit more functional right now. It's not pretty yet because, pretty's coming later. Right now, it's just functionality is what we're going for. So I actually have this set up so I can use it. And I sit down here. So I actually can sit down comfortably and take this, my little portable shower that I showed you guys how it works. And you put water in it. It's only like 64 ounces. So it uses less than 1 gallon per shower. And I get a nice cool shower. If I wanted hot water, I suppose I could put hot water in there or warm water from the sun. But I find the cool shower is a lot more relaxing right now because I'm in Florida and it's kind of hot outside. So I'll take my shower, rinse myself off with about half of the water, a little bit less than half the water, soap up, then rinse off. And all sitting down. So it's pretty nice. It's nice to have the ability to shower in here and then go to work and be all nice and clean and everything. I can even shave and stuff, so you can see I got my shaving kit. And so the RV is a lot more functional right now than it was previously, even though it's not fully operational. Just so you see how I made this, and the reason I made it like this is because I had to use scrap. So this was like scrap wood. This was originally leftover wood that I had, and I had used this as a chopping block for the kitchen. But it wouldn't fit all the way. It was a little too short. So I took I bought some beams, and I just basically went across to hold some weight. But also, it's good because it allows some side holes here where water can drip and go down. So it's strong enough to hold up my weight, and that's all that really matters. So I can sit on it, take my shower, water runs down, we don't have a mess. And see here, I got 2 more jugs full of water, 3 jugs. So I can take 3 whole showers there. That's 3 showers right there. So using a gallon per shower to me is still kind of expensive on water usage. That's why I'm trying to work out the water recycling system so that after you use the water, you can filter it and clean it and reuse the same water. And I know some of you are like, he's being crazy doing all this. No, they're shutting stuff down. It's hard to get water. I still can carry in water from work, and sometimes I go to some parks and then I fill up with the water. And you can also get water at the gas station. But, you're counting on these resources being open, and there's a chance that they could shut it down. And some of you are like, well, they're not going to shut it down. They might. They shut a whole bunch of stuff down. So at this point right now, I want to make sure I'm as self-sustainable as possible, other than food. I should be able to generate most, my own electricity, possibly recycle my own water, catch water. You can see I even have the bicycles. I went out to, the compound actually had some storage. I know there's a lot more to this story than you guys know. Some of the patrons know what's going on, but I actually have storage had storage, because it's not there anymore. I don't need it anymore, but I had storage out at the compound where I was keeping big stuff, bicycles. So I had my bicycles, and I decided to get them because I'm trying to make myself self-contained. So basically, the RV is like Hut 3.0 on wheels. And by having the bicycles here, if I need to, ride somewhere, I can ride, instead of just walking everywhere when I don't have the RV. And the reason for that is if everything shuts down and I end up, losing my job or whatever because they don't need me or whatever, I would rather be in the RV than the van. Although the RV is having issues. It's having the same engine slipping that it had initially. It's not overheating like before. So I probably need to get back in touch with Rob. But the problem is he's in South Florida, really far away. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. I may try to find another mechanic nearby where I can just drop off the RV and have them work on it. But it's going to be expensive to do that. So it's not like something I want to do right away. But eventually, now that the RV is almost a self-contained home, it's kind of worth fixing, especially in a situation like this where, you might have to live in whatever you have. I'd rather live in the RV than in the van. Even though the van, as you can see, is pretty self-contained also. It's just a smaller version of the RV. The van's actually a lot more versatile because I can stealth park in it. I can go where the RV can't go. It's easier to fix. You know, the RV, you got to get somebody who can work with an RV. They're huge. This one's huge. It's a 29-footer. And I was going to make like bicycle mounts, you know, for carrying it on the back, and I might still do that. But the more I think about it, the more I'm thinking of just leaving the bicycles up front, making a little bike rack that goes here. Then when you get to your destination, you take the bikes in the rack and put them outside, you know. That way the bikes don't get all rusty, because it got all rusty where it was stored outside, but I kind of oiled it a little bit. And this will give me the ability to ride around and do things when I get somewhere. And I know some of you are going to say this place is a mess. Yes, I know it's a mess. I'm still in process of getting everything into order and set up. But anyhow, stay tuned. Hopefully you'll catch me later. And the MPPT charge controller will be up. And that would mean the RV is about 90% operational. Just need to get the water catchment and the water recycling system set up. And the RV is like self-contained, other than, you know, me fixing everything. Thank you for tuning in. Take care, everybody. I hope everyone is staying safe, and I will catch you guys later. Until later, take care, everybody. Bye-bye now.